Evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's June 14th, 6 p.m. Town of Grand Rapids Municipal Building. This is the June Town Board meeting. We call it to order. First item on our agenda is to conduct a public hearing for the following items. Dean Ramsden Storage Unlimited LLC. Is that supposed to be Dave?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was a typo. Highway 13 South, conditional use for permit on 2920 Lake Avenue for proposed mini storage, parcel 0700627C, of which there's currently 3 additional units on there now. Let's see, is there any other information we need to get before I call for questions? All right, the conditional use permit is for the mini storage. I'll call 3 times for anybody that wishes to speak against it, and then 3 times anybody wishes to speak in favor of it. At this time, is there anybody wish to speak against the 4th storage unit building at 2920 Lake Avenue? Anybody wishing to speak against? Third and final time, anybody wish to speak against conditional use? Hearing none, anybody wish to speak in favor?
Yes, I like to speak in favor.
Dean?
So I also like the record change too, that the name is corrected.
Yep. Anybody else wish to speak in favor? Go ahead, ma'am. Your name for the record?
Jamie White, and I'm representing Storage Unlimited, so.
Okay. And in the back, Mr.
Ron had 2521 Blueberry Lane. We rent 3 from them now, and we might need more, so I'm in favor.
All right, anybody else wish to speak in favor? One more time, third and final time, anybody wish to speak in favor? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing closed and open up the regular agenda items for this evening. First item agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Peterson, will you lead us to the pledge this evening?
Sure.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 2, approve agenda for meeting. Anything? Hearing not, approve minutes for the May 10th, 2016 Town Board.
I'll make a motion to approve the May 10th, 2016 Town Board meeting minutes.
Motion Patty, second
I'll second.
Dan. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Any opposed? No opposed.
Where's the approval of
Just
this?
noticing something on our
I
agenda.
just noticed that too.
We are missing an agenda item that should have been there. I guess Peggy should have had on their approval of the thing. We hold a public hearing and then approve it typically. I'm assuming because it's not there, we can't act on it. So we'll have to table the action on the approval of it. Apologize that we didn't catch that till just now. And would you remind Dean that, or Dave's, I'm gonna get this right yet, that the fees are still due for the permits.
Which building are you referring to there?
These would be the new, well, Peggy left a note that remind him that he still needs to obtain commercial building and electrical in order to,
It's a CMP.
I thought I needed to pull a building permit yet. I thought this was just a conditional use.
yeah.
Okay.
So that's a step that we aren't able to complete for you tonight, but just to let you know that that is,
The
that will
conditional
need.
use portion, we're not able to complete, and then once that's approved, then we'll go to the state, get the state plans, and then we'll come back for the building permit.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good.
Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah,
Just
that's-
permits for the building permit?
Exactly right.
Okay.
Okay. All right,
Before we move
go
on,
ahead.
can't we add that?
I had called
Being
Peggy
that
today
we're
to make sure
approving
that
the
it was on.
agenda, for the approval of the agenda for the meeting? Or does it need to be,
It needs to be posted.
I
okay.
really don't know that it's a problem, so.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Okay.
trying.
Yeah.
But I'm learning to do this process in advance of when we actually need it, so we're.
Okay.
That's a change for a lot of things that happen in municipal government, and we duly appreciate that. All right, we'll go to the public comment period. People wishing to address the board limited to 2 minutes each.
Yes,
Public comment period not to be a total of 30 minutes. Anybody wishing to speak to the board this evening?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Dean.
So this is regarding office lounge next door. We went through the whole inspection process, did everything that I was supposed to do, and met with Don, and Don's cleared everything on that. The state was supposed to meet with us, and schedules got screwed up. And he put something on the bottom of the email. He said, "A follow-up inspection shall be performed prior to occupancy of the room." So I do not want to move forward until I get that occupancy in writing. So I've asked Peggy for it. Peggy says we will not issue it. And I have left a message for Len, and I don't know why he's not responding to me, because he did verbally say that he would do it. I sent him an email on June 2nd, and I still have not heard from him. And I just sent him another email today, and this one I carbon copied Scott Krug on it. So I guess I'm asking the board, or Don, or Peggy, or somebody to encourage Len and let them know that everything is clear and that I can move forward. So I do not feel comfortable, moving forward without that letter.
Understand that. Okay, we'll see what we can do for you.
All right, thank you.
Don, can you shed any light on it?
Well, I talked to Mr. Alexander last week and told him that, I says, "You've never presented us anything in writing." I said, and I explained to him I felt uncomfortable just doing a verbal, and I've never seen anything. And we had the conversation of what he wanted you to do.
Right.
I believe you did everything that he wanted, but nothing's ever been in writing back from the state. So he told me that he was gonna get that to us, but I've never seen anything yet either. That was probably last
He was
Tuesday
supposed
or
to be at
Wednesday.
he was supposed to be at the meeting that Don and I met, and what he told me is that if Don is comfortable with everything, he says, "I'm comfortable with it," and I clearly explained to him, I showed the electrical was capped, and we even capped
Yeah.
another electrical cover, so I don't know why he's not responding, so,
I guess all we can do is ask him again.
okay,
We'll see what we can do.
okay, thank you.
Anybody else wishing to address the board? Anybody else?
Just a quick question for clarification, then do you think that Peggy's note regarding the building permits, were they directed for Dean to be reminded of or for Dave? Because does Dean have building permits associated with what you're talking about? Okay, thank you, just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, I didn't get any clarification from her what she was referring to, other than all. Okay, we'll move to monthly reports, Fire Department, Chief Don Bowen.
Good evening, board, citizens. We're still currently at full staff. We have 52 firefighters. We did have two people are moving on from our area. The fire department just didn't seem to fit with their work schedules, so they are moving on. But the good news is we have two very well-trained firefighters that are actually coming here from a couple other fire departments that are moved into our area. So when we can get fully trained, certified firefighters right off the walking in the door, it's a very helpful thing. For the last month, we had 28 calls for service. 15 of them were EMS calls. We did have one gas leak at a gas station of a vehicle. We had one 1050 car accident. 3 burning complaints, nothing severe in nature. I guess kind of our little middle of the night nuisance. Somebody sees a fire off in the woods and calls us out to see what's going on. We did have 2 vehicle fires, 2 transformers on fire during the couple windstorms that we did have. We had one false alarm at a commercial building down in Saratoga that we actually had before fire department response to that. Was a faulty detector, but 6:30 in the morning, you just never know on one of the probably the largest structure in Saratoga that we cover, the old furniture store out there. So we did have 2 carbon monoxide calls. One actually was last night. It was a motor home actually, and it wasn't carbon monoxide. It was a battery that was overcharging and boiling inside the motorhome. The people were lucky. The fumes coming off that battery, like I said, literally took your breath away. The chemicals coming off of that, so that could have been a very bad situation. Luckily, the detector, actually their smoke detector went off, which we don't know why, but it was a good thing it did. So, and then we did have a mutual aid call down to the Domtar Mill. It was on the page on the news the other day. They had a rubbish fire or some stuff get started in the demolition process down there. So, we had, I believe 3 departments down there extinguishing that, and checking for damage. The training, we're doing a little brushing up this month on our traffic accident response. We have, with the Highway 54 and County Trunk U scenario going on, it's going to add a lot of dynamics to a car accident that it's going to occur out there because it's already narrowed down to 1 lane. A lot of construction equipment out there, a lot of personnel. So we're hoping that we don't have any situations out there. Like I say, even on a normal day when the road's wide open, it's quite a challenge to control the traffic on those scenes. So we're hoping we can make it through the construction project without anything, but I guess, like I say, there's a lot of obstacles out there, so we're doing a little brushing up on that, and hopefully we don't have to use it. Other than that, like I said, the safety trailer is up and running. We have it out. We're going down to Heartland Farms this weekend. We'll be in the parade this Sunday. So look forward to getting that out to the public and utilizing it. Questions? Okay.
And can you give us a little bit of a scenario about the picnic? What's gonna be going on?
Well, I guess it's kind of our standard picnic. We're starting at noon. We have rides and food and refreshments all day long. 2 o'clock we have band starting. We do have a couple different things. We have the lawnmower races this year again that are starting at 2 o'clock. Probably the biggest thing that we're hoping is going to attract us a crowd is the Larry McCarron, former Packer, is going to be there at about 2:45. He should be there for a couple hours. Going to give a talk about the Packers and give us a little briefing on what the Packer season is going to be this year and sign autographs. And so I'd like to thank Tom Heiser. He's actually the one that coordinated getting Mr. McCarron. And if you're a Packer fan, I guess that's, he's not a current player, but he was a good player in his time. So hopefully that's a good draw for us. And like I say, we have the bingo and rides and stuff for the kids all day, and our normal events, hopefully culminating around 11 o'clock.
Any questions? Go ahead, Mr. Head.
Do we train traffic flagging techniques for the folks that might be called upon to do that type of stuff? Do we?
Yeah, we go through the normal traffic incident management training and stuff. So hopefully everybody is on the same page. We can get the flagging, the signage and stuff set up, and so the motoring public can figure out the best of their knowledge where we're asking them to go or what they're supposed to do. So.
Yeah, that's where I'm going, because once in a while you got to kind of guess. I'm not saying this is, I'm not running into it here, but I'm just.
Yeah. It is a challenge, especially on the state highways, because we typically try not to detour the traffic onto the local roads because of the truck damage. A lot of the roads, the intersections aren't meant for truck traffic and stuff like that, with the radiuses and stuff. So we try to keep the trucks in place. Like I said, like this, a lot of the scenes, until we can kind of outnumber the people coming down the road at us, get pretty chaotic. So like I said, there's times we're going to ask you to stay there until we can get things under control and get some conage and different stuff. Like I said, channelize it, get cars into 1 lane, and a lot of times we'll try to get 1 lane, each direction over on the one side of 54 if if the other side is totally blocked and stuff like that. But it takes time to get that all set up in place. So.
Okay, now that isn't kind of what I'm concerned with here. I'm concerned with, you got a flag person out there and they're directing traffic. Do they know how to direct the traffic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes the question is, do the people understand what he is trying to tell them?
That's
We
where I'm coming.
can't control that.
I know it.
We train them in how they're supposed to,
Okay.
the motions they're supposed to be making, but
Okay.
they don't always receive on the other end what that motion means, so.
That's what I'm afraid of, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's why we wear those fancy vests
okay.
and hard hats and.
Any other questions? Otherwise, you can tell us how good we are in safety.
Safety is extraordinary. We haven't had not even a Band-Aid, so things are
Good.
going good with that.
Any questions? You may sit. Police Department Police Chief Mel Peterson, may you present your findings.
Good evening, everyone.
Hey, Big.
Okay, for the month of May, the Grand Rapids Police Department handled 492 calls for service, and this compared to 421 calls for service last May. That represents about a 16.8% increase in calls, and the town board members should have a breakdown of those calls. And for the month of May, we issued 36 written warnings, 41 municipal ordinance citations, and 82 traffic citations. As far as training, on May 23rd, myself and Officer Kubishik attended a trial preparation and courtroom testimony training at the Wisconsin Rapids Police Department. This training was conducted by Outagamie Circuit Court Judge Vince Biscup. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. He's a long tenured district attorney in Outagamie County and was the special prosecutor for the Dale Meister homicide case in Wisconsin Rapids. He has a passion for and focused on preparing officers to be the best that they can be as far as trial preparation and courtroom testimony. And he goes around the state and does these presentations. And it's beneficial not only for new officers that maybe haven't had that experience, but it's also very beneficial for the veteran officers to kind of, make them aware of, what it takes to do a proper trial and the preparation that goes into it. The Grand Rapids Auxiliary, we're down a little bit right now on our numbers. We're going to be recruiting, so I'd like to make that pitch right now. We're seeking additional members for our Grand Rapids Auxiliary. Typically, we reach out to Mid-State and we get a lot of great hard-charging students out there that come in and volunteer and stuff, but that doesn't prevent normal citizens from coming in. So we'll make that pitch for anybody that wants to dedicate some time and volunteer and maybe see a little bit of what police work is like. By all means, come and see us, and there's an application process, and we'll go through that and hopefully get our numbers up a little bit. They assisted with the Choose to Reuse on May 21st, helping out with traffic and crowd control. So we have numerous events coming up now this summer. Obviously, this is our busy season, so we'd like to get our numbers up there a little bit. Vehicles in department are doing well. We got the new 2016 Ford Explorer out on the road, and that's working well. And again, if anybody ever has any questions or wants to sit down and chat, by all means, stop by and see me. That's it.
Questions, Bill?
Excuse me, you have one squad service, what is that? You have one incident of squad service. What would that be?
That's if, say, we have a headlight out or something, we gotta stop at a service center to get it replaced.
Okay.
So that would be, we call out to dispatch, let them know we're at so-and-so for squad service, It'd be a minor repair that takes a few minutes, but we're gonna be out of service for those few minutes or whatever.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Chris Skinner, Treasurer's Report.
Thank you.
Good evening, residents. At the end of May, the ending balance, our cash on hand was $1,458,061. For the board, I just want to let you know, if you're looking at this particular sheet, the numbers down here for receipts and disbursements are incorrect. I made some corrections to the sheet before, and I printed them off for Lisa before. It's just so you know, the top numbers are correct. We receipted $442,755. We dispersed $201,433.45. Our cash in our checking account is currently $121,652. Our investment account is $1,033,681. And our money market at River City is $314,118. Our outstanding checks total $11,390. A couple times a year, I do comparatives at 5 or 6 different local banks just to see what the rates are. I did one this morning, and I can tell you that we are currently still investing at River Cities has the best rate for money market by a long shot, actually, and our investment account is getting the best rate. I can't take out a CD to do better, so just so you know, I do that twice a year. Did it this morning. Any questions?
Questions? Hearing none, thank you very much, Chris. Item 6, we're requesting approval of Ministry St. Joseph's Hospital Color for Kids Fun Fest for August 20th, which will be at the Grand Rapids Lions, same as last year. The same issue we had last year with the insurance certificate. Not able to get it this early. They will get it to us, or at least they did last year, prior to it last year, before the event, correct, Lisa?
Yes.
Okay, is there any questions on it?
Did we have any issues last year? You probably would have known. That's correct.
Not that I remember. Do you remember any issues with the color for kids?
I make a motion to approve the approval.
Pending the insurance certificate.
Yes.
Motion, Bill, second.
I'll second.
Dan, discussion? Yeah, just to let you know, there is a lot of corn starch that does get on the ground and that is on public roads, or public walkway. The Grand Rapids Lions members that are there will clean that up before it's gone, so it's put back in pristine condition. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I have an aye, any opposed? No opposed. Moving to item 7, water ski permit to close Lake Wazicha for the State Water Ski Show, July 21st through 24th, 2016. And Mr. Crone is here to assist. Any questions if you have any?
I'll make a motion to approve the water event permit for aqua skiers for the July 21st to the 24th to close Lake Wazicha for the water ski show.
I'll second.
Motion Kathy, second Patty. Discussion? Go ahead, Bill.
So I remember the problem last year with the closure and what it meant. Is that kind of all settled?
Did we have an issue with it? I don't know.
That last year, there
Or was it
no
the year
issue.
before?
I think it was a couple years ago now, but the last 2 years, there hasn't been any issues.
Just
I think-
discussion, there was discussion in regards to.
I think what Bill was referring to was not your event, it was the World Water Ski attempt for the world record.
That's
Oh, the
right.
world record.
World record
Last
attempt.
year.
That
Yes.
where the resident or constituents that were camping there wanted to have a little more lake use, and I think that was changed so that they were able to accommodate them. Okay,
I know it had to do with the closure of the lake.
right.
That was the big pull.
The big pole, there you go.
And the town has the authority to do so.
Yeah,
That was determined.
and they were able to work with the pole group, big pole group, and determine
For
what parts.
future reference, that's really, it's not an aqua skier thing. That's actually Evinrude and Evinrude Motors. And there's a fellow out of Oshano that takes care of getting that together. We assist them with it. You know, they'll ask us to use our barges. We come out, help out where we can, but that's not really our function out there. But yeah, and this year they're not having that because the World Tournament's going on this year. So they wrote that off, and actually they did something this last weekend over on Shano Lake. They got another world record they beat last year's.
Cool. Yeah, barefooters again?
Yeah, barefooters
Yeah.
earlier this year than now, or late last
Last year,
year,
yep.
this year, 30 skiers instead of 28.
Cool. All right.
Playing one pool. Okay, anyway.
Getting off the subject here, but go ahead. Do we have a motion and a second, correct, Lisa? Any other
For that, no,
discussion?
second.
I made the motion.
For
but-
number
Yeah,
seven.
we did
skipped
for number
ahead,
7.
Okay.
Any
I
other
seconded.
comments, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, any opposed? No opposed. Item 8 is the approval of the water event permit for aqua ski goes Lake Wazicha for the World Water Ski Tournament, September 9th through the 11th. Same story.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2016 World Water Ski Show Tournament permit.
Motion Dan,
Second.
second Kathy, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, any opposed? Motion carries.
Good luck. Thanks.
Item 9, approval of temporary Class B liquor license for State Water Ski Show Tournament, July 21 to 24th.
I'll make a motion to approve the Class B license.
I will second.
Motion Dan, second Kathy, discussion
Motion
would be,
Bill.
motion, now discussion for it. I assume that it'll be fenced in as in the past with appropriate people checking passes and,
Yep, they're going to, what we don't have from Mel's guys that come out and help out, we're covering 2 people at that gate. They're starting earlier this year to make sure we've got people at that gate, so. There's that, they are purchasing new wood slat fence because they've had some issues with the backside falling apart. They're putting new slat fence out there.
okay.
I think they're also going to fence it off, like a plastic fencing. They're gonna use the state tournament as a dry run for the world tournament. The world tournament's actually a pay-to-get-in event.
Okay.
So that's going to have fencing a little farther up. So you're gonna see that this year at state, though you won't have to pay to get into state.
Okay.
Mr.
But
Chairman,
Go ahead,
you'll see a
Kathy.
lot of-
I just wanted to clarify or make sure that you know that an operator license for somebody has to be from the town of Grand Rapids and on premise at the time, entire
Right,
time.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that
For
was
sure.
gonna be my next question, yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, any opposed? Motion carries. Item 10 would be the approval of the Class B liquor license for the World Water Ski event, September 9th through the 11th, and same as the other.
I'll make a motion to approve the Class B liquor license.
Motion Dan,
I'll-
second Patty, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, any opposed? No opposed. Item 11, approval of 2016-17 liquor licenses. From what I've seen here, Lisa, we do now have 2 open licenses, is that
Yes.
correct? Okay,
J.R. Capone's didn't renew theirs. So.
okay.
What did you say?
J.R. Capone's, they chose not to renew it this year.
I knew we had 1 open, but now we have 2 opens.
Two, right.
Okay, so anyone, from what we have checked, the backgrounds have all been checked, and the other thing was, we did not receive any requests from any liquor suppliers that we needed to hold out on any of these, correct? Okay, so those have all been clean, so motion to approve them as a group or individually is up to you.
We've done it as a group, but Mr. Chairman, could I ask a quick question? One for the poorhouse, is that because it's an individual that's getting it, no agent is necessary? Okay.
Are all their fire codes up to date?
Yep.
Yep. No, I don't have any issues with any of them.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2016-27 liquor license renewals as presented.
Motion Kathy,
I'll second.
second Patty, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, any opposed? Item 12, that approves, I should say. Approve Clerk Dr. Guyant attending the Clerk Institute in Green Bay, July 10th through the 15th. Information is presented to you. Total estimated total cost of $1,116.20.
I'll make a motion to approve the training request.
Motion Bill,
I'll second.
Kathy, any discussion? It's great that you're able to get away and go,
It's
because
an extremely good
everybody is going,
program.
it's
Is
wonderful.
only 5
Looking forward
meals
to it.
sufficient?
Yeah, the rest is
5.
provided.
Oh, the rest is provided?
Yeah, they provide breakfast and lunch.
They provide breakfast and lunch. It's really a very good program.
Okay. I just looking at it, but yeah.
was gonna say, do you want me to add more in there? or-
Well, I'm thinking one a day, you know.
Could you pack her a lunch, please?
Peanut butter jelly will be great.
Take a loaf of bread.
All right, so we got a motion and a second. They're
Yes.
confusing me now.
Yes.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all say aye.
Aye.
I have an aye, any opposed? No opposed,
Last
approved.
time I asked a question.
No.
Item 13 is approval of Clerk Dottergein attending the WMCA conference in Appleton, August 16th through the 19th. That's for clerk certification.
I'll make the motion to approve the clerk's attendance at the WMCA conference in Appleton.
And I'll second.
Motion Kathy, second Patty, discussion.
Is this like a part two?
Nope, they're
Or-
two separate things.
Oh, okay. Is there, that much of a difference between the two?
I don't know, I have a bunch of
Oh,
them.
well,
Judy owns,
There is.
these were the two that.
I can speak on,
Okay.
from experience, there is, I mean, the clerk's conference is like the treasurer's conference, it's focused on clerk or
Their
treasurer.
duties.
This is specific to program certification towards your experience and what you're learning to become a clerk.
Very good. Just curious, thank you.
Okay, we got that one all the way
Yes.
through, all the way, okay. And we are on 14, that's me, huh?
Do we vote?
We didn't vote.
Oh, we didn't vote?
We made the motion, no vote.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I have an aye, any opposed? No opposed, you're good to go.
Thank you.
I want to pass down to everybody a construction schedule. And Chris has already seen it, but if she wants to see it
I
again,
got one.
to read along.
Pass that.
Obviously, the construction of the J-turn has started. The cones are all up if you haven't been out there. This is their approximate schedule, but they're already about a week behind because the governor didn't sign the bill in timely fashion to start it. So they are breaking, they will break when it's the water ski weekend. They will also break for July 4th. They'll work the first 3 weeks on the building, the outside sections of the road, and you'll be traveling on the intersection of the road. After 3 weeks, they'll reverse the cones, and then you'll be driving on the outside section, and then they'll work on the interior forming of the J-turns. And then after that section is done, from approximately August 3rd through the 23rd, the complete intersection of U and 54 will be closed. There will be no traffic even doing right turns or going across because they will be building that intersection at that point in time. There is no detour in place, so the traffic that is going there is going to have to find their way. They will post closed ahead signage on County Trunk U and W intersection, or 80th Street and Lake Avenue or Keller Road intersection. No effect to the World Water Ski Show. They're supposed to be done. However, it will affect the Corvettes of the North Car Cruise because they normally take 80th Street and go all the way into Dearborn. They're changing their route. They will take 80th Street to Washington, turn to the left on Washington or to the west, go to 64th Street, turn to the right, which is then north, and they will cross over County Highway 54 and continue on to Calhoun Road and then take a left at the river and continue on their route. So there will be a couple more turns for them. Mel has not had the meeting yet with all the agencies that are going to be involved in the safety flagging of the roads and that, but that will happen, and that will be their new route this year. Some people say, why didn't they just take J and go into Portage County and go up and come back on F, or they didn't want to get a second county involved in all the process. They want to just stay in Wood County, so it's much easier with communication with personnel as far as safety personnel. And again, I believe Woods County Rescue will be highly involved in it. Anything else you wanted to say on the, I know you both were attending their breakdown meeting today. Anything new out of that?
Nothing new. Don brought up the entrance to Altenburg's there, and they were gonna go adjust the cones and try to get a little bit of turn lane or something so people, when they're turning in there, they don't end up getting rear-ended or whatever. It's a little confusing there if you're trying to get into Altenburg's. They stress safety and the two, I guess, peak hours for traffic is in the morning and then at the end of the workday. So we're gonna try to give them some extra enforcement during those hours if we can, and until hopefully people adjust to the traffic or the construction area.
And the traffic is reduced to 55 miles an hour, and it is a work zone, so if you do speed in a work zone, you get caught. It's double bubble time. I think you're this is a little off topic, but I believe your crew is also involved in Plickett and Ticket. Some of your guys are on that?
We just finished.
Just finished it?
Ticket that was the end of May, beginning of June. And then, but we have those other two grants that we participate in that Highway 54 is one of the corridors, so
Okay.
that'll play into those grants.
Okay. Don?
One other thing that they did mention today is, they are working Saturdays out there. Just so you know, can't guarantee every Saturday, but they say they're starting out behind schedule, so they're gonna be out there this Saturday, I believe, weather permitting and stuff, so it'll probably be 6 days a week, you're gonna see crews out there working.
Bill?
I attended a meeting at the Municipal building over in Buren, and Ron was there too. I was just amazed at the number of people that were there to hear the construction report, but still not agreeing with it. I mean, there was a lot of that went on, and I saw people there that I didn't see at other meetings, when that choice could have been made, such as at the library.
Yeah, actually, that time was probably 2 years ago to change any design plans. They pretty much had their design plan. The only other thing I'll mention to you, this intersection will be very well lit when it's all said and done. There will be 8 individual lights on it, lighting up this intersection for the J-turns and that, to try to make it a much brighter appearance of where everything is for the people, so that we hopefully don't have any safety issues. They claim the J-turns are much safer, but I guess we'll wait and see. There will be one cut through the intersection, and that's for bike traffic. If there's people that are biking and they're on County Trunk U going to the river, there will be a cut for them that they could be able to take their bikes right straight through. They won't have to follow the J-turn in.
And those are bicycles.
Bicycles,
Bicycles, yes.
not motorcycles,
Right.
bicycles.
Yes, bicycles.
Bill?
One other thing, could we put on our internet that website they had on how to do a J-turn? Remember, he had indicated that would be available.
Yeah, we can put a couple places.
If you want to know how to do a J-turn, the Department of Transportation has a website you can go to and watch how to prevent accidents.
This will be the first one in the region, I believe.
Yes.
Great.
Closest other one is on Highway 53, north of Eau Claire.
Yeah, it's between Rice Lake and,
Yeah,
Have you been on
yeah, I recently went on that one too.
I actually went by it and I turned and I just wanted to check this out, so.
Alright.
Not impressed.
Yeah, So we will move to item 15 then, discuss the auditor's suggestion, the segregation of duties fire department, which was referenced in the Shank annual audited financial report, and Dan Paulson has got some information on that.
Okay, well, just first and foremost, for those that don't know, I am the treasurer of the fire department also. We did have a phone conference yesterday with the auditor, and just give you an update on what we talked about. First, the day-to-day operations of how we handle our finances. He he had no issue with whatsoever. He said we're covering that very well. And he did have some recommendations on our annual fundraiser. He asked us, and we discussed in depth on how we currently handle all the funds that come through there on that day. And he addressed his concerns and offered a few suggestions as far as a couple more checks and balances that we implement. Not that we are really changing too much of how we do it, just implementing some other people involved to, like I said, just for more of a double check and triple check, really. So I don't see any reason why we can't do those recommendations. One of them will involve our treasurer, and we haven't had a chance to talk about it yet, but
I spoke with Don briefly about it today, and I don't see that to be a problem at all. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. And so we'll do that, and other than that, we'll see how it goes. It was, you know, it's some good ideas. There's just a new set of eyes to look at it, and we'll.
One of the other recommendations was that we pay everything we can with checks. In past, the bands would always like to have cash so that they could pay their personnel, you know, for the evening. That will change. We will now do checks only.
All vendors
All vendors will be paid.
All vendors will be paid with a check, and there will be no cash disbursements.
Bill?
So you said the annual fundraiser, which is a picnic?
Yep.
Well, what about other fundraisers do you have? Do you have to report them, such as your house numbering system? That's a fundraiser you have.
That
Do you have to make a report on
Yeah,
that also?
well, we did, but that is our day-to-day, the dollars that come through on those aren't nearly as significant as the other ones, so we considered that one part of our day-to-day operation, because it's ongoing every day, and how we handle those funds and how we track them, he had no issues with whatsoever. So yes, it is a fundraiser, you know, but it's not, he had no issues with how we're doing it. And we are tracking each sign that is sold, and also, you know, when we pay for it, when we do the deposits and everything. It's all on a spreadsheet.
So, the day-to-day issues, can you explain that a little bit? I'm familiar with the bookkeeping system of the fire department.
Day-to-day issues, well, we don't really receive a lot of money on a monthly basis. I mean, our big fundraiser is where we get our money. We also get the 2% dues money, which is deposited into a separate account and tracked separately, because it can only be used for certain things, and so we track that. But we get bills monthly. We vote to, at our meeting, maybe we're buying a piece of equipment or we're, whatever it is, and I will get those bills, you know, and we will cut a check for it. So we get money out of our pot machine, which gets deposited, very minimal, and we do a deposit. Time to time, we get a donation from whatever. It can be an individual, it can be whatever. That will be deposited, you know. And, you know.
Okay, so do you actually have two accounts, like the 2% dues are in one separate account because
Yes.
that's specific,
Yes.
and then you have your day-to-day basis?
Yep, we have a checking and a money market.
Okay.
And we also, in our QuickBooks program, it is segregated out to, there's a 2% dues, there's our general savings, there's our checking account, and then we also have a petty cash for if there's time to time when somebody has to run and get, I don't know, a light bulb or something that we don't wanna, you know, they will bring receipts. Nothing is paid unless they have a receipt. It's signed, dated, and file. And the auditor, we keep that on record.
So are we actually then, or the fire department, they don't have to pay taxes and we don't have to worry about that part? They're tax exempt?
As far as I have always,
They're a stiff arm of, or not a stiff arm, they are arm's length from the town.
Okay.
So that's what I was trying to say, arm's length from the town. They are,
Okay.
follow everything we do. Other questions? If not, we'll go on to, we need to complete that Wisconsin Towns Association survey. There was just a few things that we needed the board members to give your opinion on. And maybe Lisa, you can track, and I'll take these by number, and you can track what the answer from each of the board members is. And then we'll see what the most common is and if we can find it. One of the questions they ask us is beyond formal public comment at the town board and committee meetings, how would you describe the level of public involvement practiced by your town board when difficult issues or problems occur? And your choices are to rate it high, average, low, or none. Bill, your ranking would be?
What page are you on?
It's number
It's
18.
Number 18 on the,
Yep.
those are the three we need to ask answers to. I'll go the other way. Kathy, you're answering?
I think it would be average. I don't.
Myself, I rated it average. Patty?
I too, only, because I look back at our meetings that we have for the snowmobile, the ATV trails, when we had the discussion in regards to Nepco Lake referendum, so those were
Okay.
my
Dan?
decision-making.
I go average.
Bill?
Average.
All right, you have that one pretty well under place. Okay, item 19 on the inquiry was select a choice below the best described how effective you believe your town's board or public involvement are. Very effective, somewhat ineffective, or very ineffective. I'll start with myself and move to the left. I said somewhat effective. Ready?
Ditto.
Dan?
Somewhat effective.
Ditto's on
Yeah.
Somewhat effective.
there. Somewhat effective.
Somewhat. Keep it
Somewhat ineffective?
effective.
Okay, and Kathy?
I also had somewhat effective.
Okay, very good, thank you. That one is easy to figure the answer to. Please indicate how frequently your town board uses each of the 6 public involvement techniques listed below to engage public residents when significant issues arrive. Surveys. Bill?
Sometimes.
Dan?
Rarely.
Patty?
Rarely.
Myself, rarely. Kathy?
Sometimes.
Okay, rarely wins. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Focus groups. Regularly, sometimes, rarely, or never. I'll start with Bill again.
Rarely.
Dan?
I guess I can't think of a time, so I'm just having a brain. I'd say never.
Patty?
I said rarely.
I said never, that I recall.
Rarely.
Okay. Early wins. Public comment, i.e. at board meetings, committee meetings, commission meetings. Bill?
Regularly.
Dan?
Regularly.
Patty?
Regularly.
Myself, regularly.
Regularly.
Regularly wins. Structured interviews with key residents. Kathy?
I can't think of any, so I would have to say never.
I said rarely, I've spoken to a few. Patty?
I was a little confused with the question because if it was considered at the meetings here, structured, those are structured, so I said sometimes, but if it's not considered.
Well, that's,
Okay.
Ed?
The word structured kind of threw me on. I
Yeah.
would never.
Never. Okay.
And that's the reason I want to just add comment why I said never too, is that I just didn't think it was a structured, one-on-one.
Special, did we get an answer?
No, we need Bill. Yeah.
Never was
Bill?
3.
No,
He said,
Oh,
never.
did you? Okay.
Okay. Special public informational meetings. Kathy?
Sometimes?
I said sometimes.
I said sometimes.
Sometimes.
Rarely.
Okay, the bills. Unplanned conversation with town boards, unplanned conversation town board supervisors have throughout the community. Bill? Unplanned. You run into somebody and you talk about,
Regularly.
Regularly.
yeah, I do it regularly. More, is there more than regularly?
I was gonna say often, all the time.
Kathy?
Regularly.
All right. That was the only one, or do we have one more?
The only other one that I don't have an answer to yet is 16, so I don't know if anybody happens to know how many road projects has the town completed in the last 5 years that have required prevailing wage to
One.
be paid? It was just
Town
the
line.
one?
Yeah, town
Okay,
line road.
that was the only one that,
Yep.
okay.
Did you
Number
find
6.
12 and 13
Go ahead.
answered?
How about
Those
number
all.
6? How difficult is it to attract and retain volunteer firefighters? We just heard tonight, extremely difficult.
Well, I went to
disagree
Don
with
for
that.
the answer for number 6 and number 7,
I mean,
so.
if I was sitting at the bureau and filling this out, or some other towns that I know that have fire departments, I would say it's not too difficult.
Right.
It's easy to attract, retain is different.
Yeah.
The retain is the key to it. I think the essence, what I've seen from Dan, and that is you can get them, but sometimes you don't even get them through the training.
Now, I could still say in this town, I think it's not too difficult, but if you're trying to achieve something by seeming extremely difficult, then that's the thing to use.
I guess,
in my
can I-
opinion.
Go ahead, Dan.
Years ago, and I'll bring back my 20-plus years of service on the fire department, it was common to see guys with 10, 15, 20, I mean, we give 20-year awards, 30-year awards on a regular basis. It is extremely rare now. We got a few of us old buzzards around that, but, you know, even to give the 5-year award out now is hit and miss. It is.
Isn't that true with all, the majority of the businesses, as far as the longevity in a lot of businesses aren't there? So I don't think of, that the volunteer fire department is probably any different than a lot of businesses. They have a lot of turnover.
Well, they move a lot.
Yeah.
They're mobile.
Right, so.
Yeah, but it is difficult, like I said, I guess I would agree with that.
Yeah, I questioned it myself too, saying I don't agree with the extremely difficult answer to that, but.
If you split it up, attracted one and retained, then I guess we could, but retaining is truly the most severe, in my mind.
Okay, thanks for all your support on the answers. Item 17, the May disbursement vouchers. Any questions? Operator license applications and renewals. We have the laundry list of everybody that needed to be renewed. I don't think we need to read them.
No, I don't think we should. I'll make a motion to approve
Yeah.
the page and a
They're in there
half
somewhere.
of operator license applications and renewals as presented.
I'll second it.
Motion to approve the operator licenses as presented. Any questions on them? Or you want a chance to look at them?
You said that they were all approved or reviewed by,
Yes, they've all been approved.
okay, thank you.
Why is there so many?
This is the time
This
of year.
is, they all get renewed at this time,
Right.
so.
Okay, all right.
You might not have some 2 years on there because they go every 2 years, but a lot of them are.
Okay.
All right, motion made, seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Any opposed? No opposed. Motion carries. Monthly reports from committees. Public Works, one little mishap with our Kubota tractor that was mowing, picked up a stone and bounced it off something else and broke the door glass. It's just the same level as what our insurance deductible is, so we won't be turning it in to the insurance. $500, yeah. So we will,
Got any plywood left for Bill?
Maybe it's some nice glass.
But mowing is pretty well all done. We still need to go a little bit on the west end of the town to get the mowing caught up, but the way the grass is growing, we'll be mowing more than that. Last storm we had was quite frightening for Dan, as he had a tree drop right in front of him on his way home from a fire call. But town overall had 5 trees down in the roads. I know there are some private property ones that did lose some trees, but overall wasn't too bad of a storm for what it was reported to be. We'll go down this bottom way this time. Patty, anything on commission?
No, we didn't meet. Our next meeting we're looking at is for July 11th. It looks like we may have something, a certified survey.
Yep. Okay.
Approval.
Public safety, anything?
No scheduled committee meeting.
WTA meeting, was at Rudolph, a little history of the Rudolph. Couple of legislatures were there to talk, and we did change the starting time from 7:30 to 7 p.m. The next WTA meeting is going to be Thursday evening at 7 p.m. at Town of Saratoga. That evening will also be a ambulance board meeting here at the same time, so some of us will probably.
They changed it to a Thursday night
They
from a
did for
Friday?
Thursday, apparently they have.
Always?
No, not always, just Town of Saratoga.
Just the Town of Saratoga one? Oh, okay.
Apparently there's a rental or something
Okay.
that takes to it.
That would be nice.
Airport Commission meeting, airport manager gave his report and is continuing to work on the, what's called the GIS LiDAR project, which is to determine which trees that are in the right-of-way of the runway height restriction for the airport work that's going to take place this summer, that they're going to need to be tuned down a little bit. Letters we should be getting to further, let me back that up. He's further reviewing what other airports have done on theirs so that we get consistency in how everybody handles height restriction notations. So that should be, information should be back to us at our next meeting. There's a little more traffic coming into the airport with the golf course going on now. They are doing some what's called practice play down there, or some sponsor pays, or Founders Club are playing there. There's about 13 holes that are finished, and they're practicing on those or playing on those. Mid next summer is when the first course will open. Mid-June, I believe it's going to be. And then the next course will be done in 2018. As I said, traffic is starting to pick up. They expect in 2018 that'll be the largest ramp up of traffic coming in and out of our airport. So we're going to consider what we need to do to make the airport friendly for those that fly into us. There's a WinT device is basically a big metal framed device that's got an arrow on it, and it floats on a base. It's got lights on it, tells the pilots overhead which way the wind's really blowing at ground level. Part of the project is to put a windsock, which is a similar device. Some of the local pilots are interested in retaining that WinT. So when construction starts this July, late July, I believe it is, they'll remove it, take it off-site, and then we'll look at, see if it can be rebuilt and then placed in another location to see if it will, if it's feasible. Working on mowing, additional items purchased for the airport. We did get a table, conference table, although it came in broke. and needs to be replaced. I don't know if the new one has got there yet. There was discussion on ground support equipment, and one of the things that we've not had here was a de-icing machine. In other words, in wintertime, if a plane comes in and they're looking to get out of here, or they need to de-ice it, we were able to find one at a very, very reasonable cost from Century Insurance, Stevens Point. So the commission okayed the purchase of that. There was discussion of a person that wanted to have a camper stored on site alongside of his hangar. Discussion led to that the lease on the hangar is just for the hangar, it's not for the property around it. So the commission decided that it's not appropriate for other devices to be stored there on any type of regular basis. That's it pretty much for the airport. Any questions on it?
In regards to the de-icer,
Mhm.
how did they do it before? Because I knew that they had,
We have not had one for years.
how did they de-ice?
They took the planes in the shed and let them thaw out, I think.
Oh, okay.
Kurt used to do it.
Okay,
Kurt
that's-
has a
Yes.
spray gun that he
Right.
uses on a 5-gallon bucket, but he was astronomical in his price.
Okay,
So,
and then how much did the commission approve for the de-icer? They just
2,000.
2,000?
It's a $12,000 unit that was offered for sale for $6,000. They sold it to the airport for $2,000.
Thank
It
you.
was going to a public
Right.
private company rather than their. So the other things they're looking at are down the road here, so we'll move on. Any other questions? Public buildings?
We really didn't have anything. We got the carpets cleaned last month and that got done. And I did talk with the police chief last night about the air conditioning situation in their office. And we did have added a duct in there last year, and that didn't seem to, it works a little better, but we're gonna have a meeting this month yet and talk about options of figuring out how we get some cooler air in there.
Okay. Any questions? Economic now of it?
Nothing scheduled?
Cycling solid waste bill?
We had our first reuse, which was very big this year. We had over 13,500 pounds, which is, what's 6.5 tons, 6 3/4 ton of refrigerators and stuff like that. We took in for $1,020 worth of refrigerators. That's about 75 to 80 TVs, I mean, we took that in.
Right.
And then tires, we took in $267 worth of tires. But it was a big one, lots of stuff.
John?
Bill, were you gonna be having another recycling meeting anytime soon, or?
They asked, probably next month.
Okay, I guess I'd like to be on the agenda to discuss the disposal of the leftover wood products and everything that was left over there. Spoke with the gentleman, and what he told me he was doing with the products that were leaving there is illegal to be used for. So I think we need to get some clarification as to what is legal to be burned.
Okay.
Okay. Bill, I would like you to, if you could, make us a report as to where you had to dispose of all the other stuff, because I know there was likely 2,000 or 3,000 pounds of other stuff that was in the shed afterwards that I know you have to take somewhere. So maybe next month, could you put us a little report together of where you had to get rid of the stuff?
I don't see where that's important. I really don't. I mean, we do dispose of it, we recycle it properly. What people do with it is their concern, not mine.
Nice to hear.
Really?
I think it would be good to share if, I mean, I'm not quite sure I understand why it would be, I mean, what you're asking for is to understand, you described a dollar amount, I was gonna ask the question, you described the dollar amounts of tires and refrigerators. That meant that you were able to those are what we collected in. You were able to get rid of them to a vendor who paid us that money for those items. Is that, am I understanding you correct on that part of your report? So then this is just, what else happens to everything else that's left behind?
There's a couple of chairs left. We took those to Hope Store, or whatever that's called, by Hope Freeway. We took a lot to the Amish. They take a lot of that stuff.
All I'm asking is just put it on paper, tell us what you're doing. So that's all I've asked for. It's not that I'm digging into anything. Just to let you know, we'll continue we need to talk about the waste oil. Waste oil now costs us to get rid of it rather than receiving money for it. But over the years, we received as much as $1 a gallon for it. But now it's costing us 20 cents a gallon to get rid of it.
I did not know that.
Well, it's Bill, this just came up in this just the pickup that they just did. So I'm not telling you that we're not gonna continue to accept the oil. I think we need to keep the oil from going on somebody's burn pile and being
Right.
burnt. I think we still need to do it. I'm just telling you that we now have a cost that we never used to have because it was a profit over the years. And did we probably profit more over the years than we're paying on this 20 cents? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
but I just want everybody to be on the same page that now it's different than what it used to be.
Do you feel the same way for tires? That it's,
Well, I think you're covering your tire costs.
oh, I do too, because it's
Yeah.
mostly by weight, and I deal with our Arbordale, and they tell me just about what you have to charge for a tire, and
Yeah.
then we add a little more.
We transport them, but again, we don't transport them when we're not going to do something else anyway. I mean, we use it on a trip basis. If we have to go to Marshfield, then we take the truck up with tires. So I mean, it's not as if we're running purposely just for that and having to account for all the fuel that wherever there and manpower and whatever.
Because
It's
don't
not.
we get like $13,000 or whatever from the you
Recycling
just-
that.
The
Recycling
recycling grant?
we just, responsible units, we get like $13,000 and we just put it in the general fund. So,
And pay for the newsletter. And-
yeah, well, I'm just saying, so I think that, like you were saying, a lot of our costs are, totally covered if you look at
Oh,
that,
nice,
so, yeah.
I think that
Just didn't want the
recycling
wrong
grant-
impression.
Right. I think that
Of that.
recycling grant, correct me if I'm wrong, when that, oh, you didn't get to do that yet, or did you
I did
just
do one-
recently?
the one
I mean, we
portion.
have expenses that we're turning in order to get that back. So it's not like we're getting this money and so now we can have more expenses.
It's all
That
reported
money
back
is
to
all
what we
reported
use it
expenses
for.
already, not above and beyond the norm. Yeah.
Okay, anything else on the recycling and solid waste?
Well, I just wanted to thank the Public Works crew for their help with cleanup of the garage and things like that, the barrels and the traffic control. The auxiliary department was there to help, which is nice to have them on site. And then also, I just want to say special thanks to Bill and all the volunteers that put into it to really make that day just work really well. So a lot of work went into it, and I just want to say thanks to all.
When is the next one planned? Because there was another one in the fall planned, right?
September 17th,
Yeah.
third Saturday in September.
How many cars you can go through there?
It was steady, it never stopped. I mean,
Did you have to shut it off then at the end of the day? I mean, did you have to say, hey, we're done, or? did
no,
you
we had
say-
some after 2 o'clock.
So you just try not to take them.
You see, it's the same day as the Port Edwards rummage sale. I'd hate to think of what would happen if we didn't have it that day, because then we'd have more people shopping. But, they get done at the rummage sale over there, then they come over here, and they're late, so. But it went good, a lot of stuff.
Legislative committee will be meeting on the 22nd.
Yes.
Personnel committee, anything?
No meeting. We'll have one up here coming soon, Dan.
Report from individual board members. Kathy?
Nothing to report.
Patty?
Oh, I didn't bring my Wisconsin Towns Association magazine, but I just wanted to point out that there's some really interesting articles in there this month, if you can take some time just to read them. It was in regards to taxes, also in regards to their opinion about selling gravel to residents.
Yeah.
That was another one that maybe we may want to look at that, I
We
don't
don't do
know.
that.
Oh, I thought we did.
No, we sell some salt once in a while,
Okay.
but I suppose you could call it the same.
Right, and that's what I was thinking about
Yeah.
that, so anyways,
I can-
we
I
can
can
maybe
agree, yeah.
think about that, that was all.
Yep. Okay, any, Dan?
No, I'm good.
Bill?
No,
And I have nothing else this evening. Again, last item for the public input wishing, people wishing to address this board, limited to 2 minutes each. Anybody else wishing to speak this evening? Mr. Head?
I got two questions, and I'll ask the questions first in case the answers run into a little bit of time. But, Dan, do we have, was there anything mentioned about a nonprofit organization for the fire department, so I can deduct my donations? And the other question is, this gentleman was up here, I believe he's from Aqua Skiers, and he mentioned this world
Water ski show
water
event.
ski show, and they're gonna fence that area off. So how does a guy go about doing that? Do you need permission to do that?
County have to
I mean,
approve
it's in
it.
a public park, and who gives them authority or whatever? If I wanted to go out there and sell kites or something,
You have to go to Bill.
you have to go to Parks Department.
Parks
The
Department.
county is really, the county Parks Department.
okay?
This is the first time I heard that there's going to be a charge for it.
But,
If-
oh, so, go ahead, sorry, Bill.
Yeah, that's been on.
I just was curious, I was gonna look into it further myself, because it's the first I heard it too, but I didn't hear if it's a charge to see the show, or if it's a charge to get into the beer tent that would then have a big tent and
No, it's a charge
bleachers,
to
or
watch the
I don't
show.
know which way they're looking.
I believe it's a $5 charge to watch the show.
That's the way I interpret it too, is at the gate, you're walking
And
in.
then I've run into instances where, as a fundraiser, somebody will charge to park there too.
I really am going to go back and check to see how much of this is, you know. I did not know this
I'm not
because.
saying I'm,
No, Lance is the one that's promoting this, chairman of the board. He did that other thing where we did the championship, who could stack the people the highest. And then he talks about this and getting this here, and I'm gonna tell you, this is, I don't know where you people heard $5, but this is the first time I heard that. So,
Yeah, I think we need more information before we
Does that
make
mean-
assumptions.
and, you know, does that mean the whole park, the people that live on this side of the lake?
No, I
Do they
think
have to pay because there's that viewing that's showed to them?
it'd be pretty hard to do, but what I understand, it was the viewing area. If you want to be in the viewing area, they were gonna,
Where the bleachers and.
Yep. be well worth it. Then you can come to the Grand Rapids Lions for their music fest right after, because the skiers will be out there Saturday evening eating and visiting with people.
Yep, and as far as the fire department, yes, it is, from my understanding, you have to check with your tax accountant, but any donations made to the fire department are tax deductible.
or what?
Tax deductible.
Okay.
It's up to your local tax advisor. This
Yep.
is not a tax.
Yep, I'm not a tax expert.
Okay?
But he slept at a Holiday
You
Inn.
don't have
21
that
on
status,
TV.
right? You don't have 501c3 or whatever it is status.
No.
And that was not part of your
No.
conversation?
No, not at all.
Anything else? Hearing none, oops, I turned my page over already. Item 22, any additional items for next meeting? Item 23, adjourn. Who makes that motion?
I do.
Bill, second, Patty. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Mel.